Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, and today we got the second piece of the Warriors of the Sky update that's going to be coming to Marvel Future Fight sometime in the future. We covered that original post when that was debuted at the Thailand game show. Now we have a new one that was debuted at a game show or some sort of event in Malaysia, just like less than an hour ago. So we're going to get into it now. There was a post on the Netmarble forums as well as a YouTube video. So let's go and check all of that out now. Oh, this is the wrong one here. Let's go for this one first. Greetings, Agent. This is CM Fragment. After the grand reveal at the Thailand game show, this is what I just said, the all-new original team Warriors of the Sky will be showcased at the Malaysian Level Up game show, which has happened already. Curious to see what this team from the East has to bring? Watch the video until the end and be amazed. Don't blink or you might miss it. So here is what they are talking about. Let's check it out now. So it's a very short clip. It's only about 45 seconds long. The beginning is almost exactly the same as the one that we saw in the original clip, the 2-minute clip that was voiced over and narrated by Cage. Did a great job with that. That we got the first look at these 4 new characters hailing from Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, and Taiwan. But then we get something special at the end, which is
empowered
unexpected.
By a cosmic celestial, the enigmatic energies that course through the Warriors of the Sky unite them into one mighty form, the towering Kyrin. The Warriors of the Sky, coming soon.
Okay, so we get the Kyrin, and it's a pretty robust amalgamation of the 4. We've got the blue and the eyes for the Vietnamese warrior. We have the red flames coming out of the shoulders, and there's like a chest piece as well, and there's something on the back of the head for the Firebird. We have the obvious shell from, I believe it's I can never remember the names. Shell Shock? No. Anyways, I can't remember. Spy Shell? I can't remember the name. And then you have the warrior from Thailand, the general, and it's his armor sort of plating the beast's legs, and also the sort of white and black patterns from his as well. So the Kyrin, as far as I understand it, is a creature and sort of a mythological figure that has been used quite a lot, not only in Japanese mythology, but also in Chinese mythology and other mythology in Eastern Asia. So this is something that's not new for those of you that have knowledge, and you've played a lot of games, or you've read a lot of books or stories that reference these sort of 4 legendary beasts or 4 legendary creatures, legendary what have you, and then we have this combination. Now I don't know if they're always in. I don't know if having the 4 always means you have the 1, or if these are sort of related but not necessarily interconnected stories that are being sort of melded together. I honestly don't have a lot of information. I don't have a lot of experience or background with this, so excuse me if I make any mistakes or I say anything wrong. Correct me in the comments down below. But I want to point something out to you guys that I noticed, because all of the other characters, I believe, did not go through a substantial wardrobe change or any sort of visual appearance change. We have the Thai general. We have here the I think I got this wrong last time. I think I said Malaysia, but this one was from Taiwan. I think I might have gotten that wrong, or I might be getting it wrong now. And then this one is from Malaysia. Hopefully I'm right. I think this is a Malaysian pirate. But anyways, oh, actually his tattoos are more red now. That's very cool. But anyways, the big change visually is in the Vietnamese princess. And this is something that a lot of people had pointed out to Netmarble, and honestly, I didn't notice anything, so I couldn't have pointed out anything. But a lot of Vietnamese fans pointed it out, maybe some Chinese fans pointed out as well, and some people messaged me as well on Twitter saying it's wrong. It was wrong, and when I mean it was wrong, I'm referring to the other or the original. So this is what it looks like now, and you'll take note of these long pants that go, down to her toes, up to her waist. She's got these sort of dark things covering, sort of like sheer, covering both of her arms and covering her tattoo. And it appears that her dress now is much, much longer, and it's sort of got this cut, tapered thing here. Now, this might not be important to you or I, because we don't have that much, I don't usually wear that kind of stuff, so I don't know what it looks like. But you can very, very easily see, if we cut back to the old one, it's quite different. So this was the old original drawing, or original design, I should say, where it was cut off at the high thigh. So that obviously has changed and gone all the way down on both legs. The cut of it seems similar, but not exactly the same. And then both arms are now covered by this sort of sheer fabric that was only at her shoulder before. So it's quite a substantial change, and I'm not actually sure if this means that the character is designed in a much more Vietnamese way than before, but I did notice it. Immediately when I saw her, I was like, oh, this definitely looks different. This wasn't how the character looked before. Something looked different to me. So I encourage you guys, if you can tell me, is this right? Is this the way she's supposed to look if she's going to be representing someone from Vietnam? Because you know what, if they were making a Portuguese character and they were dressing the character in a Portuguese way, but at first the character looked Spanish or Italian, I would probably want them to get that right. So I understand that it's important to some of you, so I just want to find out and make sure. Now the big thing is this Megazord, this Kyrin, this Power Rangers Go-Go thing. That is honestly the first impression that I have when I look at that. I have never seen any sort of transforming thing in Marvel where characters come together as one and make a bigger giant thing. Now, you have a lot of crazy stuff happening in comics. You've got, you know, I mean, most recently with Uncanny Avengers, you've got Red Skull performing surgery and taking Professor X's brain and putting it into his skull. Red Skull, putting it into his skull, and then, you know, becoming this like super powerful being. So listen, as far as like wacky storylines go, Marvel has already pretty much tapped the well dry on things. I'm actually looking for Red Skull, but I think he's level 62. So yeah, we've already had our fair share of really wacky stuff, but specifically, I'm not making fun of it, but specifically having characters transform into something, yeah, honestly, the closest thing we have right now to something like that would probably just be Kid Kaiju, where he's not transforming himself, but he is drawing things that transform, and in the case of his Smasher summon, it's actually a combination of his other summons all at once. Now, that's not the playable character itself, that's the summon for the playable character, so it'll be really interesting to see how they incorporate this into Marvel Future Fight. Quite a few people have speculated that this giant update, whenever it's coming to Marvel Future Fight, could change a lot of things. And so I want to just run through some of the theories that I've heard that honestly all seem plausible, because when you have... Let me give Netmarble the straight and honest here. As a star agent, Netmarble, I want to speak to you very honestly and very earnestly. And by the way, guys, in case you're wondering, I am a star agent for Netmarble, and this video is made in you know, conjunction and participation with the Star Agent program. So when you have a sneak peek, sort of an announcement that's like this, that's so small. It's not small in the sense that, I mean, it's a beautiful image and it's very detailed and a lot of work went into it, but it's just that one image. So you basically give the people watching, you give the audience two pieces of information. There's the Kyrin, which is this new thing that you've created that's this giant sort of mythological beast. And then you relate it back to something that you introduced recently, the Warriors of the Sky, where they can sort of transform their energies, or in some way they can combine to make that. That's not really a lot to go on, because I personally, I'm not I'm not the most hardcore comic book fan. I haven't read every single Marvel issue. But I can't think of off the top of my head that any time that's ever happened in Marvel, so I don't have anything to base that off of. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying I have nothing to base it off of. And then for two, that's nothing we can do in Marvel Future Fight, so I have no basis for it in Marvel Comics, and I have no basis for it in Marvel Future Fight, and that's okay. It's great to create new things, but it leaves the audience sort of wondering what they were shown, because I don't have an anchor. I'm a boat along the sea without an anchor. So it would be nice to get just a little bit more information next time, so we can know, is this like a game mode thing? Is this like a character thing? Is this something else? Is this just cosmetic? Is this a boss? Does it augment something that's existing in the game, or does it create something new? Just a small little piece of breadcrumb information would really go a long way. But because we don't have any of that, you kind of just shrug your shoulders and go like, well, I guess we'll just wait for the next major sneak peek, which maybe that's what they want to do. They just want to keep us engaged and keep us waiting for the next one and the next one, and sort of follow them around as they go to different events, you know, around Asia. That's fine. However, However, I do want to point out that with something this big, or in their words, giant, there's quite a few possibilities. Now, one of the possibilities that I've been told, and one of the possibilities that quite a few people have floated by me, is getting rid of Combat Blast, Speed, and Universal, and replacing it with some other system. Possibly introducing a fifth element, possibly just remaking them in a way that is more 2019. Because I think one of the core issues with Marvel Future Fight is game modes, yes, but one of the other core design constraints, I think, is the way that things were made. I think the way that things were made for Marvel Future Fight in 2015 were pretty narrow to begin with, and it did not create a design space that would open itself up for years to come. So I think if the developers had been a bit more open-minded, a bit more forward-thinking with some of the choices at the beginning, perhaps going with 5 or 6 different elements rather than just 4, I think it could have gone a long way to alleviating some of the problems that we find ourselves in now, where we have a lot of characters who are just obvious exceptions to the rule. You have characters who don't really fit in one particular class, but they have to be slotted in one of the 4, and then you also have this pretty awkward rock, paper, scissors universal that really doesn't, this really doesn't serve for very much. It served once upon a time in 2016 where Thanos and the Black Order were the best characters in the game. So it was kind of like, you know, they have an inherent advantage because they're Thanos and the Black Order and they're these aliens coming to attack. But, you know, with our combined forces, Captain America, Iron Man, and Black Widow, blast, speed, and combat, we can, you know, we can punch up and we can defeat them. But now you have, like, you know, Doctor Strange is blast, but Dr. Voodoo is universal. I don't really understand. Like, that doesn't really make any sense. And you have no universal mutants because you just decided that as a design decision. It really just, there's just a lot of things that don't make sense, and I think this type affinity chart thing is just holding the game back in a really big way. I previously said, before they introduced GBR and before they introduced type enhancement, that I thought that typing didn't matter. And it honestly didn't before they introduced this. Now typing does matter, but it's still much, much too narrow. I would love for them to sort of hit the reset button, reshuffle all of the classes, and make them 5 or 6 different classes, and maybe something that's giant like this could work. Another thing that people have been floating by me recently is, what if we upgrade from 3 characters on a team to 4? Because it's 4 warriors in the Warriors of the Sky, and they combine into 1. It'd be pretty awkward to only be able to put 3 of the warriors on your team. We've talked about this before with other things like the Fantastic Four, and other sort of groups that work much better as 4 than they do as 3. So there's a lot of things to think about. These really challenge the core principles of how we consider and how we conceptualize Marvel Future Fight the game. So I don't expect any of these to come true. These are wild, far-fetched ideas. They're surf-fetched ideas. But I just wanted to throw them out there because I've heard other people saying them, so maybe some of you in the audience are thinking them as well. And some of them, you know, as difficult as they might be, may need to happen in the future for the, you know, for the growth of this game. It's still growing and it's still doing great. It's not going down. It has no signs of slowing down. But I want to see it achieve its maximum potential. So that's why I'm suggesting that. Another thing that I've seen suggested, because of the wording in the teaser where it says something about a tower or the Tower of Kyrin or something like that, Kyrin towering, is perhaps a rework of Shadowland or a second Shadowland, because this challenge menu is actually quite short right now. So perhaps there will be a challenge mode where you can unlock some or all of the Warriors of the Sky, and that might involve defeating Kyrin in various forms, or it might involve, in sort of 5 waves, defeating the 4 Warriors of the Sky as they progressively get stronger, and then when you defeat all 4 of them, possibly like a giant boss raid, they will combine into 1, into the Kyrin, and then you'll have to defeat the Kyrin to, you know, get some sort of reward, get their biometrics. Perhaps there's a new sort of thing that they create or that they're made of that you get rather than biometrics. I don't know exactly, but I wanted to float all those ideas by you, and I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think of the Kyrin? Do you think it's a good design or not? Do you think it looks cool? Do you think it's going to have something meaningful in the game? Is it going to be a boss? Is it going to be somehow a playable character? Like, how could you actually play the Kyrin in some way? Do you think it's going to be something like a summon or certain attacks? Maybe one attack for each of the Warriors of the Sky will involve or incorporate the Kyrin kind of coming into the battlefield, sort of like Kid Kaiju, but just for one attack rather than all 5. Yeah, and I'd just love to see, I would love to hear all your creative ideas about this, because I'm personally a little bit stumped. So let me know what you guys think of the Power Rangers. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.